Mohave County. Please pay close attention to what's going on in the Republican Party. Has Tex Polesky infiltrated the Republican Party with his TPUSA agenda? Is this a massive takeover of the Mohave County Republican Central Committee? What's going on? Why did HILDY Angus lead people to contact a well-known scammer in Golden Valley in regards to voting?
State Senator HILDY Angus, and I want to remind you, Friday is the last day to vote early, as July 21st is primary day. You can drop them off at the early ballot drop facilities today and then again on Election Day. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Leslie Tyler, the Mohave County representative for Turning Point. Her phone number is 928.
The scam artists who are deeply involved in pushing the TPUSA agenda are David Rose and Leslie Tyler, with Arizona's own senator working to help push it. Listen to Tex Polesky and David Rose make up a story that Charlie Kirk told David Rose to run for office, which is a huge lie. There's no proof of this whatsoever. Nobody can confirm that because Charlie Kirk is no longer with us. So Tex and David Rose made up this lie about Charlie Kirk, and they're spreading it all over the place, and the story can never, ever be confirmed. Notice how nervous Polesky and Rose get when approached with questions? Why is Tex Polesky exploiting Charlie Kirk when Charlie Kirk can never confirm this? Can you even imagine Charlie Kirk endorsing a convicted felon? Really?
Team Rose, is this public?
It's RSVP through Turning. This is a Turning Point event. So,
But you posted it public on your deal.
Yeah, but it also has on there to RSVP.
What's that mean?
You go to the Turning Point website and you register.
Or you gotta be registered to be here?
Correct.
Yep.
And if you're not, what happens?
That's Tex.
Listen,
What
you have to
happened?
be RSVP to attend us. You're more than welcome to enjoy Nikos, but
So are you guys gonna be inside, or are you gonna be out here?
We're out here.
Or both? Okay. All right. Turning Point deal. All right. We are having a primary, aren't we?
Turning
we
Point
up-
isn't impartial. We've already made our endorsements of our candidates. So, we don't have to remain impartial. Charlie never did.
Well, you can't talk to Charlie because he's gone, so we don't know what Charlie would say about this.
No, but I knew him for 10 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But it
He
doesn't.
personally asked David to run for office.
But it doesn't. Yeah.
But I knew him for 10 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But it
He
doesn't.
personally asked David to run for office.
But it doesn't. Yeah.
But I knew him for 10 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But it
He
doesn't.
personally asked David to run for office.
But it doesn't matter. He's, unfortunately, somebody took him out.
Correct. But David was one of the last people he asked to run for office, and we're backing him.
All right.
That pretty much ends it right there, Ed.
All right.
That pretty much ends it right there, Ed.
All right.
That pretty much ends it right there, Ed.
Now, I have never lied to you, and I'm not going to start now.
Well, apparently so. Have a nice day.
You too.
Have a good night.
If you belong to the Republican Party in Mohave County and think that you are representing the MCRCC, you better think again, because there are people who appear to have infiltrated political offices in Lake Havasu, Kingman, and Bullhead City, Arizona. It appears like the offices are being turned into TPUSA organizations. Is this really happening? Why is HILDY Angus leading people to Turning Point?
To knock doors and get involved with Turning Point. Young people that are in this room tonight, how many of you here tonight are college age or high school age? Raise your hand. All over this crowd. Start a club at your school with TPUSA. Start a club at your school.
State Senator HILDY Angus, and I want to remind you, Friday is the last day to vote early, as July 21st is primary day. You can drop them off at the early ballot drop facilities today and then again on Election Day. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Leslie Tyler, the Mohave County representative for Turning Point. Turning Point. Turning Point.
Turning Point USA is a 501c3, and Turning Point Action is a 501c4/PAC. Neither is legally the same entity as a county Republican Central Committee. If it's Turning Point Action C4, rather than the nonprofit, that's less legally fraught, but still a separate organization with its own board, priorities, and chain of command, not accountable to your precinct committeeman or county bylaws. Precinct committeemen typically elect the county chair and set local party direction. If TPUSA staff run day-to-day office operations, decision-making authority can shift away from elected committee leadership toward outside paid staff who answer to a national organization, not your local voters. Who owns or holds the lease on those three offices? If TPUSA takes over the lease or branding, the party could lose control of that physical infrastructure if the relationship sours later. We already heard that Margie Meeks is influencing votes as well. The directors in the other two offices. Everyone heard the so-called Senator HILDY Angus specifically instruct voters to contact a so-called Turning Point representative named Leslie Tyler, who is a well-known scammer.
If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Leslie Tyler, the Mohave County representative for Turning Point. Or Leslie Tyler, the Mohave County representative for Turning Point. Or Leslie Tyler, the Mohave County representative for Turning Point.
So my recommendation to you is that you can this resolution and focus your efforts here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beffert. As a Jew, I now know that you are my mortal enemy. And like the Palestinian protesters that were there on opening day, I consider you an enemy. No. Next up is James Jones. Oh, okay.
You're a representative of this county. Shame on you.
Why will the Angus do that? Merging identities can blur who's accountable for what's said or done out of those offices, useful in a dispute, confusing to voters and the media otherwise. By the way, is the District 1 office instructing voters on who to vote for when voters call in for advice? County parties often have their own candidate priorities that don't perfectly match a national org's agenda. The strange thing is the Arizona Senator HILDY Angus put out a desperate plea to the public, telling people to vote, but instead of her saying, "Go to your own district," for some strange reason, she instructed voters to go to Leslie Tyler, even giving her phone number out. This is a person who has scammed people out of their homes and scammed Rosie Larson out of Rosie's Den. And now she's a representative of TPUSA? Why would TPUSA hire this kind of person? And why is HILDY Angus leading people to this scammer? Isn't there danger in that? Why the state senator pointing voters to TPUSA instead of the county party's own districts should raise eyebrows. County precinct committeemen are elected by Republican voters specifically to run local party operations, voter registration, candidate vetting, get out the vote. TPUSA staff answer to a national board and to Charlie Kirk's successors, not to Mohave County voters. When an elected official redirects people to TPUSA instead of the party structure voters already built, it shifts real influence away from the people accountable to the local base. It signals who actually holds power. So, who is holding the power? If a sitting senator's default answer for, "How do I get involved?" is turn to Turning Point, rather than the county GOP office 3 blocks away, that's a pretty clear signal about where she thinks the real center of gravity is. Given TPUSA's documented pattern of embedding staff into Arizona GOP leadership, the Kelly Ward era is the clearest example. This fits a broader trend of the organization becoming a parallel, sometimes competing power structure to the elected party apparatus. Listen, folks, this is dangerous. This causes confusion for voters. A new or infrequent voter told to go see a Turning Point representative by a sitting senator may not get the same help a district office would give voter registration assistance tied to the county recorder, precinct-specific info, local candidate details. TPUSA's focus is more national messaging and youth/campus organizing.
To knock doors and get involved with Turning Point. Young people that are in this room tonight, how many of you here tonight are college age or high school age? Raise your hand. All over this crowd. Start a club at your school with TPUSA. Start a club at your school.
Now, I have never lied to you, and I'm not going to start now.
It's not built the same way a county committee is to handle nuts and bolts local elections work. It also raises the question of who's actually crafting turnout messaging in the district. If TPUSA reps are being positioned as the go-to contact ahead of your own precinct committeeman, that's worth raising directly with the senator's office and your county chair. You have a duty to ask why. David Rose, along with scam artist Leslie Tyler, Tex, the reciter of the death prayer, and HILDY ANGIUS, are seemingly working together to push a questionable organization off onto unsuspecting voters.
This side for you all, the mourner's Kaddish. It's the Hebrew prayer for the souls of the dead. Yitgadal v'yitgadash me'raba, ba'amad yivrach v'amlich mochute, v'chayachon v'yolechon v'chayeyo d'choyche beit Yisrael.
Knew him for 10 years.
Yeah,
And
but
he
it doesn't. But it
and
doesn't.
he personally asked David to run for office.
But it doesn't. Right.
Are these people America first? No, they're not. So who are they really working for? And what are they trying to do? And who else is working this agenda?
Where we live in Lake Havasu, never have I seen, we're from Kentucky, and never, y'all couldn't tell, could you? Amen. But never in my life have I seen so much witchcraft other than New Orleans. And when we moved there, and they have this thing like they do in Phoenix called First Friday, and all the witches show up